Your brain. It's a ruthless machine of snap judgments. In less than 7 seconds, it decides if someone is memorable or disposable. But here's the twist. The one pop culture conveniently ignores. Allure isn't about beauty. It's about biology. In a world obsessed with filters, fashion, facial symmetry, we've forgotten something far more primal. According to Princeton neuroscientists, over 93% of what we call magnetic doesn't come from what we see. It's energy, its vocal tone, its unconscious cues, quickening pace, micro-expressions, emotional congruence. That person who walks into a room and shifts the air without saying a word. They don't need chiseled cheekbones. They don't need designer threads. They're tapping into nervous systems, broadcasting biological magnetism. And here's your revelation. That power, not reserved for red carpets, not owned by influencers, it can be activated in you today. Allure. It's not about getting a date or holding someone's gaze across a room. It's much deeper, more powerful, more permanent. This is the hidden engine of life's most important doors. Whether your idea gets a seat at the table, whether people feel emotionally safe enough to trust you, whether they walk away thinking, I don't know what it is about that guy, but I want to see him again. You see, true allure doesn't make you objectively attractive. It makes you subjectively unforgettable. People don't remember faces, they remember feelings, they remember presence. Now, I'm not a psychologist, but I've spent countless days, and even more late nights, studying what makes certain people unforgettable. Through deep conversations, obsessive research, and watching human behavior where it matters most, in the wild, in real life. And today, I'm not giving you gimmicks. I'm not handing you cheats. I'm giving you a new operating system, one that's already inside you. You just haven't activated it yet. We're swimming in myths. Drowning, actually. Myth number 1. Attraction equals flawless appearance. We worship symmetry, smooth skin, status symbols. But even men at the top, millionaires, models, influencers, admit to feeling empty, invisible, overlooked. Think about it. The internet is flooded with perfectly sculpted male physiques. But how many of them feel genuinely magnetic when you meet them in person? Why is that? Because presence isn't polish, it's internal alignment. Myth number 2. Fake confidence equals magnetic presence. You've been told to just be confident, but neuroscience disagrees. When you fake confidence, you activate the amygdala's threat response in others. They may not know why, but they won't trust you, because your body's lying, and theirs knows it. Myth number 3. You're either born with it or not. Young Dwayne Johnson once battled depression. He was rejected. He felt lost. He wasn't always the Rock. But over time, he built a presence rooted in self-respect, vulnerability, and grounded masculinity. That's what made him magnetic, not the muscles. Your magnetism isn't missing. It's masked by performance, by perfectionism, by pretending to be who you think the world wants. It's time to dismantle these myths and rebuild your presence from the inside out. Most people start conversations on autopilot. Let's get started. How are you? With zero real attention behind the words. It's forgettable, robotic, surface level. But what if, before diving into the agenda, you looked someone in the eye and simply asked, before we dive into work, how's life really going for you? That one sentence, calm, sincere, grounded, it disrupts the script. It tells the other person, I see you as a human being, not just a task, not just a title, not just a transaction. Men who adopt this simple pattern, whether in interviews, team meetings, client calls, or even family dinners, often report the same thing. People open up, walls come down, tension dissolves into trust. Not because you're performing some charm trick, but because you're signaling something rare: emotional presence. And presence is a forgotten currency. In high-performance circles especially, warmth is often buried, suppressed. We're taught to lead with edge, not empathy. But here's the paradox. When you show warmth without losing your edge, it becomes magnetic. It makes people feel safe around you, not because you're soft, but because you're solid, unshakable, human, seen. Perfection is intimidating, but relatability? That's magnetic. A study in the Journal of Personality found something fascinating. People who shared their failures or struggles were rated 68% more likable than those who seemed flawless. Why? Because vulnerability lowers defenses. It makes you human. It invites connection. So here's your move. Instead of saying, "I've always been great at this," try this. "Man, I messed this up the first time I tried, but here's what changed everything." That subtle shift does something powerful. It transforms you from a performer into a trusted guide, someone others can learn from, because you've been in the mud, not just on the mountaintop. Marcus Aurelius, Emperor of Rome, journaled his weaknesses daily, not to shame himself, but to become better. True strength doesn't come from pretending you never fall. It comes from the courage to admit it, and the discipline to rise anyway. That's power. That's presence. That's you, without the mask. Your voice is the emotional handshake before words even register. It can either soothe or create static. MRI scans from Stanford University reveal this. Lower, slower, and warmer voices activate brain regions tied to trust and calm. So if you want to sound irresistible, slow down, soften, mean your words. Before you respond to someone, wait 3 seconds. Why? Because it makes your reply feel thoughtful, not reactive. It sends a powerful signal. I'm present. And in a distracted world, presence is rare. Think about how Morgan Freeman speaks, or Obama, or Jocko Willink. Not fast, not forced, but intentional. Each word lands like it matters, because it does. And that intentionality, it becomes unforgettable. Not by volume, but by resonance. Charisma isn't about being interesting. It's about making others feel fascinating. In a Harvard study, people rated curious listeners as 42% more attractive than even the most entertaining speakers. Why? Because deep curiosity makes people feel seen, and we crave that feeling. To be noticed not just for what we do, but for who we are. Here's your action step. Start using layer cake questions. Don't waste energy asking, "What do you do?" Instead, ask, "What excites you about your work? What made you get into that? What's the story behind that passion?" Each of these questions is like peeling a layer back. They go deeper, faster, bypassing the shallow waters of small talk. And historically it works. Theodore Roosevelt once said, "The most important single ingredient in the formula of success is knowing how to get along with people." He wasn't just a statesman, he was a man who listened, who asked, who made others feel essential. And in a world obsessed with being heard, the rarest power is giving someone your attention. Your body speaks before you do, and often it speaks louder. Thanks to mirror neurons, the people around you subconsciously mirror your posture, your energy, your presence. If you slouch, they slouch. But if you open up, they open too. Your movement becomes emotional transmission. What you embody spreads. Here's your action step. Use expansive poses. Before a meeting, a date, a pitch. Stand tall. Take up space. Breathe deep for 2 full minutes. This simple ritual lowers cortisol, your stress hormone, and spikes testosterone, your confidence chemical. Boxers and warriors have done this for centuries. Before the fight, they breathe. They square their shoulders, heads high, because they know this truth: your stance shapes your state. Before the world sees you, you must become who you want them to see. After studying and observing real men, leaders, fathers, creatives, warriors, I discovered one universal truth. Allure isn't about being seen. It's about making others feel revealed. Here's why that changes everything. Performers chase attention, and that's exhausting for them and everyone around them. But alchemists, they create sanctuary, and that's irresistible. Because when someone feels safe, understood, and witnessed in your presence, they attach those feelings to you. Their brain lights up, releasing dopamine, endorphins, a biological response known as the connection high. It's not your looks, not your charm, it's how you make someone feel. Try this 10-second ritual. Before you enter any room, whisper to yourself, "I am here to witness, not to impress." That one sentence moves you from ego to empathy, from tension to transmission, from forgettable to unforgettable. Let's anchor this in. Warmth is more powerful than perfection. Vulnerability is more magnetic than performance. Vocal presence beats cleverness. Curiosity trumps self-promotion. And embodied ownership? It crushes forced confidence every time. You don't need to chase charisma. You don't need tricks, gimmicks, or masks. You already are the magnet. You just need to clear what's blocking the signal. Your Allure transformation begins now. Join the conversation and comment below. My magnetic trait is... Fill in the blank. Let the world know what already makes you captivating. And subscribe for next week's deep dive. Because charisma isn't about being flawless. It's about being felt. Now go. And make strangers feel strangely seen. And if you're trying to build real mental toughness, Seneca's got some serious answers. Links down below.